What's up, all model minorities? Thanks for stopping by. This yo man Kuro sitting here with yo man
Shiro. How you guys doing today? How's everything with you, Kuro?
Not too bad. Weather's finally easing up. So, what'd you want to talk about today, man?
Well, today a very interesting topic. I guess if you heard the news, Naomi Osaka, she's from Japan. Well, she's representing Japan. She was the first Japanese tennis player to finally make it to the finals. And so today I'd like to talk to you about is Naomi Osaka really Japanese?
Okay.
You know,
another touchy subject.
it's a touchy subject, yes. And just for reference itself, Naomi Osaka is not 100% Japanese, obviously.
Well, genetically, right?
But genetically, yes, she is biracial, or what I like to call it hafu or hapa. Her dad is, I believe, African, and her mom is obviously Japanese. And
her dad's just to clear, her dad's Haitian.
I think Haitian. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Haitian American. Haitian. He's from New York.
He's from New York. She was born in Japan, raised was living in Japan up to 3, moved to the United States, and ever since she's been living here. And so she, I guess her dad and her mom loved tennis, grew up, so probably loved Serena, who's her idol, and decided that, hey, why not have her as a tennis player, a future tennis player? Now, I guess it's a touchy subject, but, what I have my opinions. I'd like to hear your opinion, Kuro-chan. Do you feel that she is Japanese? Does she represent Japan?
Yeah. I guess this falls along the same lines as that whole Miss Japan fiasco.
Right.
Where it was another, I guess we should call it Blasian.
Right, Blasian. Half
black, half
2015.
Asian. Actually, I don't. Me personally, I don't really have like a problem with it.
Okay.
It's just, I think that the Miss Japan holds more merit because she actually spoke Japanese and she grew up in Japan, so she actually presented herself more as Japanese. As for Naomi,
right,
I don't know. I think there's like an ulterior motive behind it because she doesn't speak Japanese. She grew up in America since she was 3. It was actually her father's choice for her to represent Japan, not her personally.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know, because you know how like the parents always pull the strings, and like
Correct.
Her dad is the manager.
Correct.
And was it because there was too much competition here in America with the Williams sisters?
Possibly.
Or was it because he loved Japan and he thought that they could use like a champion?
Well, now that it's something called marketing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm tiptoeing around it, but I feel like he's kind of exploiting.
Okay. No, say no. This is
I feel
our
like
channel.
he's kind of exploiting the whole Japaneseness of
That's fine.
Like his daughters. Actually, I would like to know because I'm curious about it. Not because I pose it or anything. Like, what was the dad's like motives behind having the daughters represent Japan? I mean, I'm interested in it. Maybe it's he wholeheartedly loved Japan. Like he was like, yeah, Japan's great. He did live there. He lived visited Sapporo, Hokkaido. That's where the mom's family's from.
Right.
It's funny because her name's Osaka, but she's from Hokkaido.
Is that weird? Is that kind of funny? It's like, they're different region. No. So you're, I guess, would you say that as a Japanese American, and just if you're a Japanese citizen, do you feel proud that she's representing, Japan itself, or you feel indifferent, or you feel like, some kind of?
It's like It's.
I know it's
I
interesting.
actually I have no problem with it. I could see why Japanese people have like this, weird notion about it because she is a different skin color than like the traditional Japanese people,
Right.
and they don't have the same type of acceptance that us Japanese Americans do over here.
Correct.
I mean, they say that Japanese Americans, we have the highest out marriage rates, which is true, which is, I think, a necessity in a sense, because after 2 or 3 generations, goddamn, we're gonna be marrying our cousins in the 4th and 5th. There ain't that many Japanese Americans here.
Yeah, that's true. But so one thing, or another question I like to pose, and I'll give my thoughts to this. Do you consider herself as a Japanese American?
Well, she wasn't born here. Well,
Okay, well,
she's like what, a Chibe
no, she's
or
not
Kibe?
Kibes are born here and then moved to Japan, study in Japan.
What are the ones that were born in Japan and moved here?
They're Iseis.
Iseis,
They're
then.
the first generation.
First ace.
Right, right, you can say that. But so, would you consider yourself? 'Cause, I mean, she came here at 3 years old, so
What's your problem with it, man?
Okay, my only issue is that, and I, as a Japanese American, as well as I feel more closer to Japan. So, I feel that I think Japan needs to accept biracial kids or people that lives in Japan, speaks their language, understands the culture. I think that's the thing. My issue is that she doesn't speak the language that she represents, and to me, that's a big problem. I'll be very frank with you. I know she's learning Japanese. I give her that. But if we're gonna represent a country, for crying out loud, speak the mother tongue, baby. I mean, I understand she's trying to learn. Gotcha. I'm proud that she is representing Japan. Got that. But then again, it's like, I come down. People will say then, well, does rugby players that are born in New Zealand but nationalized as a Japanese citizen?
Yeah, it's that. There you go.
Okay, so but they speak Japanese to a certain extent. I've noticed that during interviews they speak, I would say, like, not full blown like native speaking, but they speak decent Japanese. I mean, they can hold a conversation. I'll give them that.
Well, just give her time. She's 20. I mean,
No, I know. It just I'm torn in the sense of I'm proud of her that she is representing a country, and you're right. There is some ulterior motive. I don't know what it is. I'm not the dad, but yes, I agree with you. There is some ulterior motive. But for crying out loud, speak at least a decent amount of Japanese.
and she probably speaks more Japanese than your ass. She probably and me too. I mean, let's cut her some slack. And I think this is the type of mentality that affects a lot of Japanese people in general, not just Japanese and Japanese American. We kind of have like this. No, we're kind of
Okay. No,
we kind of exclude people.
Dude, no, again, as I said to you in the beginning, I think that Japan needs to start embracing those biracial kids, biracial Japanese that live in Japan, even here too. I agree. And if they're willing to represent Japan, fight for it, be proud of it, I have no problem. Absolutely, no. Bravo to you.
What about the ones that represent the Japanese American community? Because there's a lot of Happas and Blasians that represent Japanese Americans like they're 100%.
Yeah, I have no problem if they're Japanese American and they were born here and they speak English and they want to represent America. I have no problem because I won't be surprised, but just long that they know that they are representing Japanese American, they represent their heritage and respectfully, and represent respectfully. I have no problem. Absolutely.
Right. So I think we could. as Japanese Americans, we are pretty inclusive. That's what sets us apart from, I guess, Japanese in general.
Yeah.
But then they kind of changed because look at their sumo wrestlers. Look at their sports.
Yeah.
How many actual Japanese nationals are in their sports?
Well, there's still a lot, but there are a lot of foreign sumo wrestlers that are winning and are dominating the sports, and so you got two different type of attitudes towards that. One that says, "Great, open it up, more competition." You then you have these. Then you bring up new, more hungry Japanese sumo wrestlers to compete with the best. You got others that say, the right wing Japanese nationalists that this sport is Japanese. It should stick to only Japanese. We call it sumo wrestlers itself. As I said to, and I can clearly state, I get it. I think Japan needs to be willing to embrace those biracial kids much more than how like how Japanese American embraces our biracial friends and family.
Yeah, a lot of them are our family members.
Right, a lot of them. Right, I totally understand that. That's, you're totally right. But I think the attitude in Japan is slowly changing. Yes, it's taking time. It's slowly changing. It's going to take time. But the reason why I brought it up is that I saw her interview. Great, perfect. She speaks very good English.
Mm-hmm.
No questions about it. It's just she represents when she interviews in Japanese, and I know I can understand Japanese pretty decently. Wow, it's pretty bad right now. It's like first grade level, and it's like, but let me just ask you, flip side around, let's just say I guess Americans are. I'll give Americans this: they're a lot more accepting, in the sense of accepting foreigners representing their countries, even though the English may not be that great. And if they speak decent English, great, you're an American. Let's only wave the flag and you don't do shit with it. You don't spit on it or tear apart. A lot of Americans are very accepting in that sense.
Well, yeah, I guess they, base upon your achievements. Like, they give you respect if you're doing good.
Right. No, I agree.
As long as you're not doing bad, then they'll say, no, you're not American. You're Canadian.
Of course. They'll take the good, but they'll say, fuck the bad stuff.
No, if you could do a triple Lutz, then you represent America. You could get us gold medals.
Right. If you start tripping, no.
Or when it's Oscars. I mean, look at Mel Gibson. He was born in New York. His parents moved away to Australia. He was raised in Australia. Came back later. It's kind of the same thing. Yeah. In a sense. It's not her fault that her family moved away to Japan or moved away back over here. But just be happy that maybe her dad saw something in Japan that he didn't in America. Like, it's pretty big deal to have your daughter represent something. You don't just. You would obviously think America would be number one pick. Why would you pick Japan? Yes. It has to be something there that's good that he saw, that my daughter should represent this country.
No, I agree.
I mean, why not Haiti?
Yeah,
that's but Japan of all reasons. Hey, man, my respect.
Yeah, as I said, you're right. He could pick America and have the most.
I mean, it'll be easier.
It'd be easier. Marketing would be
honestly, yeah. I mean, she'll be the next. I mean, because Serena's old,
right?
In a sense, I mean, she could probably still got like 5 more years in her, if that.
Yeah.
But you're dealing with a 20-year-old here,
right?
Somebody fresh from the career. Why would you represent a foreign nation?
No, I agree, and I think that's why the Japanese media is not crucifying herself because her lack of Japanese. I think they're embracing it because you're right, because the father,
like she came back.
Yeah, well, not only came back, the father had so many options to do.
Yeah,
Haiti to America, to whoever, whatever country that wants
The highest bidder.
Exactly. Well, okay, you want to say that it's for the
It's technically that. I mean,
that's true. That's
you're
true.
pretty much pimping out your kid.
Okay,
I mean, unless
you're
that
right.
motherfucker has
That's true.
talent on his own.
But if you want to be honest, yes, you're
if
absolutely
if he has talent on his own, or the mom comes from like one of those Zaibutsu type of families where it's like, one of the 5 richest families in Japan. I mean,
right.
From what my understanding, her family disowned her.
Yeah.
So it's a sad fact that happens with a lot of times when a Japanese woman marries a foreigner.
Yeah,
White or black,
Yeah, unfortunately, that's. But then again,
Not my family though.
No. I have mixed feelings about that. Hey, I don't control your life. You can do what you want, but you would want to. Yeah, that's another.
I think if the guy sticks around, he or the guy or woman sticks around, and it's not like one of these single parents that kind of like how Miss Japan was.
No,
I mean, her dad kind of bounced out.
Yes.
After she was born, and
Correct.
he only claimed her after she became popular.
No, that's true. I mean, I gave to the 2015 Miss Japan. I think Ariana. I forgot her. Miyamoto, if I'm not mistaken. What was?
I gotta look it up too, but
Yeah. Well, wasn't there a picture here? But the thing is that I give her. I have seen her on television. Very good Japanese. She's beautiful. I mean, that's something that I would like to date. Hell yeah.
Well, just give Naomi 5 more years, man. Maybe even 2. Maybe
No,
she'll take that advanced
I'm just,
Kumon or whatever they got over there.
I'm just throwing out the idea. Just do people feel the same way as I do, or am I just like fucking old fashioned?
A lot of Americans will probably be hating on like her. Like, how come she's not representing us over here? But I think a lot of Japanese Americans, we really don't care. Right. I mean, if there's some, we're probably raised the wrong way where we're a little bit too racist for our own good. We grew up in those little states on the south of the Mason-Dixon line. I don't know.
No. Listen. Let's be honest with ourselves. I mean, there are I won't say racist, but there are Japanese that are proud. To be honest with you, I'm probably one of those.
I think it's because she doesn't fit the image. Because honestly, like, I'm not 100% Japanese. I'm kind of mixed with technically a different race, Okinawan.
Right.
It's just I just so happen to look Japanese because the majority of my genome is Asian.
Right.
Or whatever.
Well, yeah. No offense. Unfortunately, nobody knows.
So I can blend in.
Right. Nobody knows Okinawa.
But for Naomi, I mean, she could pass as like a Samoan or Tahitian or something, a Polynesian, but as a pure Japanese, which brings in that whole notion of purity that Japanese people.
Yeah, you're right. Some people really are like really advocates for that, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not one of those. I'm learning to understand that, a lot of these biracial kids or happas that are living in Japan are now, as much bad experience they may have, they're embracing their homeland.
Dude, a lot of them times they embrace Japan more than we do.
Right. I agree with you. Right.
Even the happas over here, like, man, some happas I know, like, straight up talk more Japanese than I do without an accent. Right.
Exactly. No, I agree. And so, for me to say, just because you're not full Japanese, you won't be accepted. I
think that's a dash of an Americanism too, because we kind of have that whole one drop. Yeah. Type of mentality over here.
Yeah, that whole white America.
The whole white American eugenics program that they practice over here. No,
secret lab.
I mean, really, we're pretty much talking shit about the rest of the world doing it, but when we were practicing over here,
No, I agree. I think America is more than so guilty of that kind of shit happening,
And Japanese people were affected about it because we fell along the whole color spectrum of.
Well, and I think you're right, Kuro. I think you point this out, that Japan looked at the West for what to do and not to do itself.
Well, I think they copied a lot. I mean, they gave them the book. Japan studied it. They crammed it.
That's true. It's like, if you want to be a great power, you listen. You follow.
You do what you do. Yeah.
You listen. You
Here are the
listen
steps. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. You don't follow the smallest country. You look at the greatest country and you follow what they're doing.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, before that's what Japan was doing with China.
Right.
That's why a lot of their culture was borrowed from China. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
a lot of times they, like Korea too. When Korea beat them, they started copying a little bit off of Korea too.
Did you say Korea beat Japan?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Like twice.
how long ago was this?
Like, well, this is before Japan took it over, but
Okay.
this was like during those Three Kingdom dynasties in Korea, or the
that's
turtle
like
ships.
Wait.
Yeah, but once they did that, they were like, "Oh shit, all right, respect."
No, we're gonna get back. No, but that's a different video. But yeah, I mean, I just like to hear people's opinion about it. I mean, good and bad. I like to hear what your thoughts about Miss Osaka becoming the first Japanese tennis player in any Grand Slam tennis tournament.
Well, what about you, man? If Japan called you and said, "Hey, man, I want you to represent us."
Oh, I'll definitely do it because at least I feel, to be honest with you, Kuro, I feel more closer. I mean, my thinking is probably 70-30. Sorry, 70 more Japanese, 30% more American. To be honest with you, I have no problem.
But you never fit in, man. Look at you. You're dark skinned.
That's fine.
Look at your dark skin. You dark skinned Japanese, man.
I'll represent my prefecture.
I could hear the articles right now. I mean, I could read the articles right now about saying how this guy is trying to pretend he's Japanese and look how dark skinned he is.
I said, bring it on, baby. Bring on more dark skin, baby.
They rather take Naomi.
But I'll be honest with you. I think winning breaks that barrier. You win, you break that barrier. You're able to break that barrier easier.
Oh yeah.
But again, I have mixed feelings, and I think I just wish that Japan. I think Japan should start embracing these biracial kids as being part of Japan, and I think that's as again, for the history or the extent of how Japan became modernized, I think it has achieved greatly compared to what America has gone through.
Well, it's like I said, it's evolving. It's
evolving,
constantly evolving. It's like an evolutionary thing. It's always going through a whole. It's changing every 10 years. It changes, but it still keeps it still knows its old traditions.
Right.
But it's willing to accept newer, innovative type of things.
Right.
Because Japan's known for being innovative.
Supposedly, right?
And traditional at the same time.
Right. The fusion itself. That's what I'm saying. No, I agree with you. I think with what to say, I think Japan has lots of growing pains, but just like it's still, to me, it's still a young nation compared to America. What I mean by young nation, the modern nation.
Oh, the restart button.
The restart, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not
technically it's 80 years old.
Correct.
Correct.
Right. That's it's even shorter than that if you think about it.
Well, yeah, if you want to say the Showa period.
Right, exactly.
Is when really things started kicking off after the whole Heisei.
Right.
Or what? I'm sorry, did I get it mixed up?
No,
Are we in Heisei now?
Showa and then Heisei.
Okay, we're in Heisei now.
We're Heisei.
Right? Okay, so after the whole Showa period.
Right.
What, in the 50s?
Early 50s, yes.
So, the Heisei period is when actual change. This emperor now.
Yeah, Heisei was I think, correct me if I'm wrong, it's 1987 when the new emperor took over. So that don't quote me on that.
We really got to do more research before we do all this shit, because we just sound ignorant a lot of times.
No. I know.
It's just free flow of thought,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're not fucking Wikipedia, bitch. So I'm not gonna. But I think it's 1987, if I'm not mistaken, when the Heisei era started. But what I'm trying to say is that modern Japan is still a young country compared to America.
It's going to be changing again.
Oh, it's
pretty soon, right?
Yes.
I mean, there's going to be the new say.
Well, I don't know, but the
new emperor guy, right?
Yeah, it's dating next year in April.
He's going to be crowned in, and
he's going so that'll be a nice little topic to talk about when that happens.
So God knows what's in store for the next 50 some odd years.
So yeah, that's definitely true. But again, I think as Japan starts evolving to becoming more westernized, I think that we should talk about that, and if that's a good or bad thing in that sense. We should really get into it, the nitty gritty, in that should Japan become a mini United States?
Well, I mean, we already like open globally. I mean, we are like a world power. I mean, it's kind of like a nation state of America.
No, we are, I mean, the great thing is that we are part of the G7.
We're part of the corporation.
The hegemon, as one would say, the big hegemon.
Yeah.
No. But I think another great topic to talk about is globalization. Is globalization in Japan good or bad? I mean, we can talk about that maybe on our next topic. But beyond that, good luck, Naomi, on the day that they record this. Ganbatte, kick some ass.
Haters gonna hate. Fuck them.
No. Listen, as I said, I embrace her, and I wish more Japanese American as well as Japanese, Japan and stuff would start embracing those biracial kids or those happas who do and who are willing to represent us.
Yeah, represent Japan. I mean,
Japan,
yeah. I mean, even from over here, we're looking at you like, hey, girl, you go.
Yeah,
exactly. We'll be cheering for you
because it reflects on us too.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
It does. People don't think about this, but whatever happens to Japan, it reflects on us because who gets those stupid questions?
Yeah, like I'm actually Christy Yamaguchi's cousin.
Exactly.
Did you? I know her. Yeah, she's like my second and third cousin.
Or good or bad because the
I
radiation.
Know Apollo Ono.
Right, or like the radiation issue, the March 13th big tsunami and meltdown. Oh, what happened? Is your family all right? You have 3 eyes now? Now you have 6 eyes since you have 4 here. Stuff like that. So I think as Japanese Americans, as much as we like to think that we're American, shit in Japan does affect us.
Well, I guess basically what you're just trying to say is, they're going to throw us all in the same pot anyway. So basically we're all family people.
That's right.
So welcome to the family, Naomi.
Thank you very much. With that,
peace.